It is obviously a wonderful setting, a great place, but it wouldn't be anything without all of you. So I really, from the depths of my heart, appreciate your coming and this awesome occasion tonight. It has, of course, been in the planning for many months, and it's lots of fun right now, but there were moments in the past several months when it was a little stressful. Amanda would call me up every once in a while and chat about current events, and nothing was ever as easy at the moment as it seems in retrospect. I think we all do agree, though, that it's a match made in heaven. Amanda and Darren are a great couple. Darren is an awesome son-in-law, I gotta say. And great sons-in-law run in my family, because Josh, here's to you, and Alia, and their little baby, Rosa. It certainly warms the cockles of a father's heart to have sons-in-law like that. But I will say, in a sobering moment, that there was a time when I didn't think this was going to happen, because we all know Darren's a great catch, and Amanda is nothing if not a good catcher. So, but one day, shortly after they met, she called me up, and she was on the verge of tears. And when Amanda calls you on the verge of tears, it starts off, "Hi, Dad. How you doing?" I said, "Fine, Amanda. How you doing?" "Oh, okay." "Just okay?" "Well, actually, not so good." "Well, what's wrong?" She said, "Well, I met this guy in class, talking about Darren, and she said that they started hitting it off, but then at one point it got a little more serious, but she didn't know who Darren Hummel was. I mean, who knows who he is, right?" So then one night they went out to dinner or something, and he told her that he had a secret he had to share with her, and before their relationship went any further, that he really needed to tell her this thing. So anyhow, keep that thought in mind for a moment. Now I'm going to backtrack to when Amanda was very young. She and her sister, me being a rather conniving dad, I figured out very early on that the way to be good bait for the male species was to be good at sports. Yes. So I tried to make Amanda and Alia as good at sports as I could, which was a very tough job for me because I stink, but I do have a few instincts that are decent. And I remember one time driving them out to a country club, and I said, "I want you to observe two things here. Number one, look at all the nice new cars in the parking lot. And number two, notice that it's mainly guys crawling around this country club." He said, "Wouldn't you like to hang out at a place like this? All you have to do is learn how to play golf." So I bought them little baby golf clubs, and slowly they learned. Amanda got good enough that one time a Secret Service agent said, "What's her name, Tigress Woods?" That's a true story, by the way. Anyhow, so time goes on. I coached them both in under-8 soccer. Alia's team was the Badgers. Amanda's team, now hang on to your hat, Darren, was the Bumblebees, right? How about that? So anyhow, they got older and it took, and they were able to play sports well, and obviously Alia scored Josh, and Amanda has now scored Darren. But back to this dinner. So Amanda calls me up and says, "Dad, something very horrible has happened." And I said, "Well, sweetheart, it can't be that bad, but what is it?" So she said, "So I met this guy. He's really cute. He's really hot. I just love him to death. But he took me out to dinner, and he said, 'I have a secret that I have to tell you.'" And then she told me a secret, and I was stunned. And then I had that moment like the guy in Father of the Bride when his daughter tells him that the wedding is off because the guy gave her a blender as a present. So Amanda tells me the secret that Darren shared with her, and I thought, now's my chance. If I don't like this guy Darren, I could probably sink this if I wanted to. And what was the secret, you asked? She says to me, "Dad, he's a Dodgers fan." I gotta say, for a moment, I was seriously, I mean, he's a nice guy, but gee, many Christmas, Kirk Gibson, Oral Hershiser, we remember those names, and I was actually watching the Dodgers play the A's. I think that was the first or second game in LA. The Dodgers were behind, like 2-1 or something like that, in the bottom of the ninth, and we have our ace reliever throwing, BBs, and they bring in Kirk Gibson. The guy could barely walk, and he sort of limps up, and it was, I think, Raleigh Fingers was the pitcher, and he threw a couple outside the strike zone, and I'm shrieking at the TV, just groove it, this guy can't hit. And the very next pitch out of the park into the game. So anyhow, I thought long and hard. I said, well, I really don't care about baseball that much anymore. And, I will forever remember Kirk Gibson and Earl Hershiser, but, time moves on. I remember Bobby Thompson when he hit the shot heard around the world, and the Giants won. And I have a Willis McCovey baseball card, and Warren Spahn signed my baseball mitt, so who cares about the Dodgers? So Darren, here's to you. Welcome to the family. Go LA.
That was my favorite baseball. I remember it. Maybe